You. Perfect. Excellent. So again, I'm very excited about tonight's webinar because as the CEO and founder of this company, I'm really excited about what's happening in this industry and our passion to help position people to be a part of this opportunity. And so I wanted to give you some information about this company, information about products that we have, but most importantly, we're going to talk tonight about strategies that celebrities are using in the CBD industry. And the reason why I picked this topic is because as this industry explodes, we begin to see the social proof based on the investments that our celebrities are making. And so I always love how success leaves clues, and we're going to talk about that tonight. But the webinar is going to be packed with a lot of great information and context, because what's most important is that we want to make sure that we educate you on the benefits and the power of CBD. So if you haven't already tried our WH Farms sample pack, if you're new to CBD or you're new to WH Farms, I always like to highlight this product. It actually is on our website for only $25. It's a 50% discount, but it includes 5 of our best-selling products: our body butter, body scrub, pain balm, also a pre-roll, as well as our gummies. And so samples of all of those products to give you an experience with both WH Farms and with CBD. So I always think that it's very important to first of all, welcome all of you to tonight's webinar, and thank you for taking the time to really position yourself to learn about an emerging market. I've been an entrepreneur now for close to 10 years, and I've actually been a business owner for well over 15 years. And what the difference obviously in that is that there was a period where there was a full-time job and a part-time venture, and then we started walking on water about a decade ago, and this is where we are, right? And so what I'm very excited about is that I knew then that when I wanted to create generational wealth and financial freedom for myself, that I had to position myself to be in the rooms that others perhaps didn't think were important, or I had to be in place where information was being provided so that I can position myself to be able to receive and be successful in that space. And so I congratulate all of you guys for being present on this webinar, because this opportunity will give you a chance to really see how big this industry is growing and why, especially as a CBD advocate and enthusiast, if you are a patient or someone who's used CBD and cannabis over the years, or even if you're new to it, it's so important to see that this is an emerging market where you should plant your flag and also grow your wealth. So my name is Q Nicole, and I am a serial entrepreneur and a real estate investor. I started in real estate investment back in 2003, 2004 in Washington, D.C., one of the most expensive markets in the country. I worked professionally in commercial real estate development. And then on the side, I would do my real estate investing ventures. And I went into full-time fix and flipping in 2014. And at that time, I decided that I really wanted to just, continue to build. My passion has always been real estate from the time of, I guess, I would say before college. But what I love about what happened in 2014 is that it really introduced me to how big this industry is and how it ties into real estate even. And so as a fix and flipper, I was fix and flipping homes in Washington, D.C., one of the most expensive markets in the country. And I was also a new entrepreneur. I had only been on my own for about two to 3 years. So just kind of getting used to the ropes of it. And in the middle of all of this growth and in the middle of all of this opportunity, and also guys, you know that when you're growing and you're being stretched, in the middle of all of this stress, this entrepreneurial stress, my father passes away. And losing a parent is almost like losing a part of you. And when my father passed, I found myself in this space where I felt that I was running through quicksand. No matter how much momentum I wanted to have, I was overtaken by grief. And the process just really unearthed a lot of emotions. And so I went to a therapist at the recommendation of a close friend. And once I went through therapy and was diagnosed with delayed PTSD, and the therapist suggested prescription medication, I remembered, because I was a resident in Maryland, that medicinal cannabis was legal. And so I decided to go the medicinal cannabis route. and it gave me a new lease on life. And so let's just say that I went into the ultimate real estate venture where I decided to find and identify a space where we were able to grow quality premium cannabis. And what we've done as a company is we, with WH Farms, literally help spread the magic of CBD through small businesses and individuals, just like you, who are interested in planting their flag in this space and launching or expanding a CBD product line. In my career, I've helped hundreds of people be educated on how to create a side hustle to create additional income and generational financial freedom. And so within WH Farms, what I love is that we've created, in essence, a similar opportunity. We are a white labeling and manufacturing company. We're able to take products from seed to shelf. So not only do we grow our own cannabis, we also extract the actual CBD extract, and we manufacture our own products. And with the product manufacturing, we then provide businesses and individuals with an opportunity to launch and expand their own CBD brand through our company. And we've seen so much success, over 36,000, now close to 50,000 products sold, over 100 entrepreneurs launched and assisted, and we've watched people make thousands of dollars in their first 30 days of being a business owner in this space. And so we're always really excited about that. So we're gonna start with 2 truths and a lie, a quick game, 2 truths and a lie. And I would love for you guys to participate in the chat. So I'm going to give you 3 facts about CBD, and I want you guys to type in the chat which one you think is the untruth. And the person who gets it obviously wins a small prize from us. So good luck, and I wish you both the best. So with that said, 2 truths and a lie. Fact number 1, CBD is non-psychoactive. CBD is non-psychoactive. Fact number 2, when consuming a CBD edible, one becomes high. When consuming a CBD edible, it can make you very high. And number 3, CBD helps with muscle relaxation. Which one is the untruth? Who can guess in the chat? Looks like Janice is fully, she knows her CBD. Who else wants to participate? Janice, you're absolutely right. You've totally won the game. I'm glad that you were able to drop your truth in. CBD is non-psychoactive, and so that means that it cannot get you high. And that is one of the biggest benefits of CBD. As a company and as the CEO of this company, I knew how important it was to destigmatize this particular product line and this particular cannabinoid to our community. And so I want to talk and educate you guys a little bit more about cannabis and CBD, and then we're going to build up to the conversation about how celebrities are operating in the space. All right. So Janice, make sure that you also send a direct message to me tonight with your mailing address so that we can get your surprises in the mail. So we're going to jump right into the webinar. And as I mentioned, we're going to start with some education so that we can really build some foundational knowledge about what it is that CBD does, why it works the way that it works, and why you should be interested in launching your business in this space. So first and foremost, what is cannabis and what is CBD? Cannabis is actually the scientific plant family that has 2 species. One species of the cannabis plant is hemp, and the second species of the cannabis plant is marijuana. Most people are familiar with marijuana, and most people use cannabis and marijuana synonymously, but it is very important to know that cannabis is the scientific plant family name, and there are different species of the cannabis plant, hemp being a species and marijuana being another species. Now, the differences between hemp and marijuana are very, very distinct. First and foremost, the CBD is derived from both marijuana and hemp, but hemp does not have the ability to provide psychoactive benefits. Why? Because the actual THC inside of the cannabis plant, whether it's marijuana or hemp, is what creates the psychoactive side effect. And in order for a plant to be hemp, it has to have less than 0.3% THC by federal law. So that means that when you're dealing with the hemp plant, you're not dealing with a plant that actually has the effects that are similar to what is recreationally consumed, but rather you're dealing with a plant or a hemp plant that has components that's very strong with therapeutic qualities and wellness benefits. One of the greatest benefits about hemp as well is that it is federally legal. And just to give you a little bit of history about WH Farm. So our farm is actually in Eastern North Carolina, and we grow our hemp. We are industrial hemp cultivators on legacy farmland. And the legacy farmland isn't just African-American legacy farmland, but also Tuscaroran legacy farmland. And that's an indigenous group of individuals who settled and lived actually in Eastern North Carolina, where our farm is located. This land was owned by the Tuscarorans prior to English settlement, and the name Tuscarora literally means hemp gatherer. So we actually cultivate hemp in a space where prior to English settlement, prior to the 1600s, hemp was being cultivated and exported around the world. And we're very proud of that legacy that we represent, because we know that we not only are our ancestors' wildest dreams, but we're reintroducing the community to something that is native to our country. Hemp has a lot of industrial and commercial uses outside of the CBD benefits, and all products that are hemp derived CBD products are federally legal. So what does that mean? And even internationally legal in some capacities. How many of you have heard about Brittany Griner, the young lady that is stuck in Russia and whose stay in Russia continues to be extended because she was found to have a vape pen while she was traveling? You guys have seen that story. How many of you have seen that story in the news? It's such a sad story. And I think that this is a perfect example to show the difference between hemp and marijuana. Hemp-derived CBD is actually legal internationally in many countries, but marijuana-derived CBD is not. And so if they're inside of her vape pen, it's likely that if there was the production of documentation to prove that it was a hemp-derived product, it's just that significant of a difference that shows the access and availability of the product around the world. And so that's something we have clients internationally that love our premium hemp-derived CBD. And I always share with people that story because it just goes to show the significant difference legally, but there's so much similarities from the wellness and the therapeutic benefits from both plants. So marijuana is another species of cannabis, and it does have psychoactive benefits. As a matter of fact, marijuana has typically more than 15 to 30% THC. So the difference between obviously less than 0.3% in hemp and more than 15% in marijuana is just that wide of a difference. It has medical and recreational usage, and it is regulated state by state. And fortunately, we are watching a cannabis reform in our country, and we've been exposed to the benefits the cannabis reform provided to the Canadian government, as well as the Dutch government. So there's so much evidence of how cannabis reform is really not only benefiting society and communities, but there's also an eradication of violence and also heavy drug use outside of cannabis, which is not considered a drug because, again, industrial hemp is federally legal, and marijuana is also being declassified state by state. Any questions for so far? I know that was a quick science class, but I wanted to make sure we started there to provide a foundation. And for those of you who have just joined, I shared that I'm excited about tonight's webinar being a very comprehensive informational webinar that provides communication and participation. So please feel free to drop your questions in the chat. This is being recorded, and we'll be happy to answer them and also provide opportunity for Q&A at the end. So let's talk about why this industry has become so lucrative. One of the things that I've learned as a real estate investor is that it's very important to identify emerging markets. It's important to find the worst house on the best block. How many of you have ever heard that? Or you want to see what areas are growing so that you can invest in real estate there and allow your real estate value to grow as the area grows. Well, the same is true for the cannabis industry. As we've been exposed to the way that cannabis has really grown and exploded in other countries, and we're noticing state by state States are receiving billions of dollars in tax revenue from legal cannabis sales, it's no denial that this is the green rush. We are literally watching the explosion of the cannabis industry right before our eyes. And what I absolutely love about this explosion is that it's creating an opportunity for individuals who decide that they're willing to plant their flag and grow a business as this industry grows. Why? Because there's an increased demand for cannabis. Why is there increased demand? Individuals are becoming more aware of the therapeutic and the wellness benefits. And so no longer is this plant just considered a plant that's great for recreational use, but there's also now so much scientific evidence that supports the plant's capacity as a medical alternative. And so you find that there are customers who are literally waiting, people who are literally waiting to try it just so that they can benefit from insomnia relief, pain relief, anti-anxiety. How many of you throughout the day just find yourself frazzled? Just day to day, going through life, you just find yourself very frazzled. And especially since COVID, now that we live in a post-COVID or post-pandemic society, I find that naturally we all are operating with a different elevated level of stress that wasn't what existed prior to early 2020. And so this is another reason why the CBD industry and the cannabis industry at large is exploding, because of the societal benefits and the demand that individuals have for this product. So a couple of statistics that I want to go over to discuss why this industry is so lucrative and why we've identified it as an emerging industry. So in 2019, we saw that cannabis sales in the CBD sales in the United States were around 845 million. As you can see, in 12 months, this number increased to close to $5 billion in less than an 12 to 18 month time frame because of the growing demand of cannabis and CBD. You may say, well, Nicole, why did it go from just under $1 billion in 1 year to over 4.6 billion in 2020? How many of you are just shocked at the growth? Raise your hand and let me know if you guys are shocked at the growth from year to year. Well, part of the reason why that growth occurred is because when there was a pandemic and when everything was closed by the federal government and state local governments decided that cannabis dispensaries were essential businesses. And the stress and the anxiety and the concerns that people were going through because they were losing their jobs and people were losing, all of these different things, it produced a demand for the cannabis and CBD industry that has not returned to where it was prior to 2020. Another great benefit is it was the 2018 Farm Bill that allowed, and we'll talk about this a bit more, that allowed for the actual cultivation of hemp. Hemp was declassified as a drug and now considered a crop based on USDA standards. We're actually licensed by USDA, and hemp-derived CBD became federally and even internationally in some places legal. And so the beautiful thing about that is that it opened up commercial airways for the sale and the exporting of CBD. And so we notice an increase as more people become more aware. How many of you have gone to your local gas station, your local grocery store, the Sephora, and you see CBD plastered on all of the products? Because there's CBD everywhere now. That happened as a result of the Farm Bill. And so that's the reason why there's been such a drastic increase, because there's been a drastic change in demand in the industry. A second statistic that I want you to take note of, and the reason why there's an increased demand of CBD. Internationally, in 2020, the United Nations removed cannabis as a dangerous drug, clearing the way for CBD-related products. This decision was 100% based on the wellness and therapeutic benefits of cannabis and CBD. The wellness and therapeutic benefits were so overwhelming that the actual United Nations decided to remove it as a dangerous drug to allow for additional research and the development of products for the benefit of therapeutic wellness benefits. And so that's huge, because when we think about international opportunity, we realize that if countries are deciding that this plant isn't as bad as we think it is, then we are opening up an opportunity to really dive into a market. I can't say it. I told someone the other day, it's almost like finding oil, because the truth is we haven't even scratched the surface of the demand in this industry, because we're still watching it be regulated state by state. But industrial hemp-derived CBD gives you an opportunity to have so much flexibility, and we're really excited about that. And the third statistic, in 2020, the NFL modified testing regulations. Not only did the NFL do that, but also the NHL and the NBA. And just a few months ago, we watched the NCAA remove cannabis testing as a part of their players' requirements. Why are they doing this? Because they realize that CBD is an adaptogen. It helps with muscle recovery. And so many people are using it, especially for some of the nervous system benefits, to help really recover from such aggressive sportsmanship while they play professional sports. And so we're really excited to see not only the removal of the testing requirement, which shows a societal change and shift, but also the fact that there's even been funding awarded for additional CBD research. And so now we want to get into the juicy part of the conversation. How many of you have questions about what was previously mentioned? I would love for you to unmute if you have any questions. If not, we're going to jump right into why you guys are here. No questions so far? Everybody's good? All right. So I wanted to kind of talk about some of the effects of the cannabis reform that's taken place in our country, some of the impact that it's had on some of the celebrities that have the most influence and frankly have the most to lose. So I think that, again, success leaves clues. And when we see celebrities making investments in industries, we should definitely understand why it's important for us, if there is an opportunity, to make decisions to mirror their opportunity so that we can grow as this industry grows. Because what I will say is that as celebrities become more open, then society becomes more open. And as society becomes more open, they become more eager. And when they become more eager, they're looking for CBD manufacturers or CBD companies that they can trust. And so obviously our company is a phenomenal company that provides plant-based products, and we offer white labeling manufacturing so that we can equip entrepreneurs just like you with a chance to build your own business in this industry should you choose. And so first trend, Rick Ross. Rick Ross actually is using, so his strategy in the CBD industry is actually amazing. So he is becoming a brand ambassador for an edibles line. And so Rick Ross has lent his brand to an edible line to really promote and grow CBD, similarly to the way that he has lent his brand and his business savvy to the actual packaged product called Wrap Snacks. How many of you have been inside of a convenience store and you've seen the potato chips that sit on the shelf and it has all of the wrappers' faces on it, and every wrapper has their own chip? Well, that same company is coming out with an edible line, and Rick Ross is the brand ambassador for that line. Now, one of the things that I love about his brand ambassadorship is that he is really placing himself in one of the subsectors of the cannabis industry that is slated to be the fastest growing, and that's the edible industry. The edible sector of the cannabis industry is actually expected to grow faster than beauty and wellness. Why? Because based on consumer science, consumers are more interested in consuming and exploring cannabis absent the fragrance and the taste. How many of you have tried a cannabis edible before, a CBD edible or any sort of edible from the cannabis spectrum? I know we have people in legal markets as well. So you guys have tried edibles, excellent. And so what I love about edibles is that it really does give individuals an opportunity to take skills that they've already perfected and just add a little zhuzh to it to give them great profitability. For example, we had a client to purchase the CBD business launch kit and CBDpreneur business launch kit. And in her first weekend of making brownies, she made close to $3,000 with 2 days worth of work, because she was able to infuse her famous brownies with CBD, alert her normal customers that picked up sweets over the weekend from her and charge an additional premium because of the CBD infusion that created an opportunity for her to have this as a side business. We also have clients that have created a number of gels, like we have one client that's created a sea moss gel that's infused with CBD, just really combining the health and wellness benefits. So Rick Ross is onto something because he's decided to attach his celebrity to one of the fastest growing subsectors in the cannabis industry. And again, that is the edible space. And then we have Kourtney Kardashian. And Kourtney Kardashian is being true to her brand and really creating a cannabis product line in the actual beauty industry. She's creating a skincare line. And so cannabis, CBD has a number of skincare benefits. It actually helps to prevent the accumulation of the oil that causes acne. It also helps with inflammation and reduces redness. I actually use a CBD infused charcoal mask that we make. If you're on our email list, I'll give you a surprise. We're actually releasing a DIY CBD mask recipe later this week, so you should check it out if you are on our email list. And you will find that not only does it tighten the skin, but it increases the glow. And it just helps with the overall reduction of inflammation in the skin. And it also helps with the prevention of acne. And so CBD has a number of wellness benefits in this skincare space. And so Kourtney Kardashian has decided to extend her beauty brand by also creating a CBD skincare line that allows for the usage of CBD in that space. All right. So now we're going to talk about Queen Bee. I think that Beyonce's influence in introducing, being introduced or entering into this space on the CBD side is absolutely magical. When she announced this launch in Harper's Bazaar, it showed internationally how big this industry is going to grow and become, because she used such a big prominent fashion magazine to announce that she is not only building her farm, but what's most important is that she announced that she's going to start a product line. Is starting with a CBD infused honey. I love that she shared how she's used CBD over the years for the purposes of energy and really being able to help with flexibility, muscle relaxation. When you've worked so hard and you're not able to sleep because your body is naturally stimulated, CBD is so amazing to help with insomnia relief. And a lot of people will say, well, if Beyonce is getting a farm, I should get a farm. But let me just share with you that Beyonce's strategy is absolutely perfect, because the wealth doesn't come with the agriculture. The wealth comes with the brand. And so, for example, you will watch in the news that the Canopy company, Canopy is a brand out of Canada, or their edible brands out of some of the legal states in the United States. Those brands are being purchased for hundreds of millions of dollars by other investors and companies because they have a ready-made system. And as this company continues to grow, and as this country continues to grow, I should say, the ready-made systems that you create with your brand and your cannabis business is what's going to be most lucrative. And so I absolutely love that Jay-Z is on the Monogram side. So he's dealing with the state-by-state legalized marijuana as it relates to CBD and cannabis. And Beyonce is on the hemp side, where she's actually creating a hemp-derived honey line and also introducing people to the wellness benefits of CBD. So isn't that super fun? You guys have any questions about what I've mentioned?
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So I know that certain states, cannabis is officially legal. And of course, CBD is, if I'm correct, throughout all the United States. Do you think that as more states hop aboard with legalization of the true, I guess, THC cannabis, that the CBD product itself will kind of lessen? Just your thoughts.
No. And so I'm going to give you some information as to why. So correct, cannabis, marijuana is being legalized state by state, but hemp is federally legal, and CBD derived from hemp is federally legal. CBD derived from marijuana is not federally legal. So that means that the CBD that's derived from marijuana is only legal in the states where marijuana is legal. I wanted to make sure that differentiation as we talk about it. And so as it relates to the scarcity in the market, if you will, once nationwide THC is legalized, because essentially what the states and the federal government, what they're managing isn't the cannabis plant, it's this one chemical cannabinoid, which is THC. And so you're asking if once THC is legalized, will there be a reduction of interest in CBD? And the reason why I confidently say the answer is no is because CBD and THC are cousins, they're not brothers. So for example, most cannabis consumers may say, oh, I don't want CBD, it's not as loud or it's not as potent as what I'm used to, which is THC. But THC and CBD have very different characteristics and qualities. CBD does not have psychoactive effects. CBD does provide relaxation without drowsiness. Some actual marijuana strains, when you consume, it literally sedates your body. CBD, you still have functionality, you still have your mood elevated, but you just have a different relaxation. It's great for anti-anxiety. It just has, it serves a different purpose. And what I find is that as this nation opens up and individuals are more excited about exploring, there will be a very large population of individuals who will not want THC. The elderly, they're not interested in THC for the most part. They don't want to be high, they just don't want to be in pain, right? And so that's the reason why CBD will always maintain its demand, because CBD offers a different benefit than actual THC.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, thank you so much, because I've never used marijuana.
Yeah, it is very different.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of just get your insight on that. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. And we find that a number of clients that in this space, a lot of people who are trying CBD are new to cannabis, and the benefits that they get from CBD are sufficient. But marijuana has a very different response. And it's highly effective on the psychoactive piece. If a person is dealing with anxiety, marijuana actually isn't the best for them, because marijuana will continue to make them more anxious. It speeds up their thoughts. It causes them to think more. CBD, on the other hand, helps to relax them and provide those calming effects while not sedating them. So the different qualities definitely contribute to why there's a demand. So that's a great question. Any other questions before I go any further? All right, guys. So then let's talk about John Legend. John Legend has decided to also invest. This is a gentleman who I believe is one of the savviest and most successful musicians of our generation. And I love to see the business decisions that celebrities make with their means. And so he's investing in a CBD product line, Plus CBD is the name of it. And again, it's a brand. Brands are profitable. And this product line has a number of products, but they're specifically focusing on gummies. Gummies is the number one edible product that's sold commercially in the cannabis industry. Number one. So having a gummy line is almost like writing your own check. We have a lot of clients, especially during COVID, where there were so many mothers home with their children, and their children are on one computer virtually learning, the moms are on another computer working, and there was so much conflict with demand and need. So many of our clients would purchase gummies just to help their kids manage ADHD. So you find that gummies are not only just being provided to adults, but because CBD is such a natural quality that it responds well to our endocannabinoid systems, you find that our CBD products are actually provided not only to children, but the tinctures are provided to pets, and any mammal that has an endocannabinoid system can truly benefit from CBD. And so John Legend is deciding to invest in the gummy space, and I think that's powerful. And here's the person who actually made me turn an eyebrow to cannabis and CBD years ago. And so Whoopi Goldberg was actually the first, to my knowledge, to actually make a significant investment in this industry. In 2018, Whoopi Goldberg announced that she was investing in not only an edibles line, which we see in 2016, but she also provided a women's health line. So Whoopi Goldberg actually created a CBD infused, or she worked with the company to create a CBD infused feminine product. So feminine hygiene products, and also feminine products that we use during our special seasons every month. They actually were the first to introduce this type of women's brand into the common space market to talk about the pain relief and the muscle relaxation benefits of CBD. And so again, this brand, Edibles, and other brands are really building up in the space and identifying opportunities to help heal people or to help with the providing of wellness benefits to individuals through using CBD. So these are some of the strategies that we're noticing that celebrities are really focusing on in this space. Of the strategies that we mentioned, give me your feedback, guys. Tell me what you think about what decisions that many of these celebrities are making as it relates to launching a CBD brand. I think I see a few individuals on. So I'm happy to have questions answered from anyone, but tell me about why it's so important to see, make sure I'm not frozen, why it's so important to see what celebrities are doing and what your feedback is now that you've seen this information. How many of you are excited to see all of the CBD that's popping up around you in the stores and, you know, online, and more people are talking about it?
Well, I'm very much excited, and I think just the mere fact of you going over a few of the celebrities and how they're tapping into the market, you know, emulation is important, and that can just show, because of the market is still so vast and growing, that it could be beneficial, you know, to us as business owners, you know, potentially as well. So I'm excited. Everything that you're sharing with me, you know, is greatly appreciated, because I am a user myself. So, you know, why not create your own brand?
Absolutely. And one of the things that I love about the creation of your own brand, as someone who has a personal experience with CBD, is that you're able to infuse your story into your brand that really will captivate your audience. And we share this with our clients all the time. I'll go over some of our client testimonials in a bit, but you'll notice the uniqueness of their brands and how it's their own personal story that's infused in, that's been helpful to their process. So I want to go over some additional foundational information so that you have it, because I think that it's important to see how widespread this industry is. So research shows that CBD helps with a number of things. Obviously, there's research that documents how CBD helps with sex. For men, it helps with erectile dysfunction. It helps women to relax and really be able to truly benefit from the enjoyment and the pleasure. Our first product that we launched with a brand in Raleigh, North Carolina, was actually a CBD infused yoni steam. And that not only helped with the libido boost, but because the inhalation quality of the yoni steam with the CBD going through the cavity of the body, it helped with menopause. We had a number of testimonials from clients who talked about how the CBD flower that they used in their steam help with the side effects of menopause. So that's something that I definitely encourage those of you who are interested to try. Now, there's research that shows how large the pain management industry is. Hundreds of millions of people every day are dealing with pain. And CBD has been proven to be one of the best plant-based options for pain management. In addition to CBD, and let me just kind of give you guys a bit of a fact. So this is a topical that's in our sample pack, but this is our CBD cashmere vanilla body butter. It's 100 milligrams of CBD. When I rub this body butter on my skin, I'm able to get the benefits of the CBD, but it does not mix with my bloodstream. And so the reason why pain relief and pain management products are so popular as well is because there's not this hysteria of, am I going to fail a drug test? So you're able to apply topicals to your body, not have to worry about them being infused into your bloodstream. And this CBD helps with a number of pain management concerns, such as inflammation, muscle pains, a number of concerns. And so I love how large the pain management industry is and how CBD fits so well within it. And then obviously this month is Men's Mental Health Month, Awareness Month. Last month was Mental Health Awareness Month. So we know that mental health is something that we are paying as much attention to now as we do our own physical health. And so I love that CBD is such an anxiety reliever. Again, since we are all living in a post-pandemic society, many of us are just dealing with a different level of stress that we not had to deal with before, just in really coordinating and maximizing just how to really navigate through this new world that we live in. And so CBD has become a lifestyle option for individuals who are looking for a way to really relax and reduce anxiety throughout the day without having any sort of attachments to pills or medications or anything that's not plant-based. And so I love that we have, and if you are interested, you should check out our blog. We go deeper into documenting some of the research in this space and how it helps with a variety of industries, including the pet industry. So I also want to make sure that I mention that, because pets and a lot of pet owners are using CBD to help with pet anxiety and also to help pets with the concerns that they have with aging, like pain relief and any sort of muscle concerns that they also have. So I know that, Janice, you've mentioned that you've tried CBD. Raise your hand if any others of you have tried CBD before. Yes or no? Candace, I see your hand raised. So I know that you probably tried CBD. If I'm not mistaken, you may have even tried WH Farm CBD. Excellent. And so I would love to hear what has been your experience with CBD so far. If you want to unmute your line and just share with everyone. And Candace, if you're not in a space where you can speak, I totally understand. I just wanted to give you an opportunity to chat and share your experience. But if you wanted to drop it in the chat, you certainly can. We always are excited about how individuals have responded to their own understanding of how CBD works with their body, because we think that that is the birthing of a great opportunity. Not a problem. So governmental agencies that no longer ban CBD. So as I mentioned, we are actually licensed by USDA, and we've also could discuss the United Nations. And although the FDA has only approved 1 or 2 CBD products, they have not banned the use of CBD. They've only banned the communications that CBD cures or heals, because they would like to ensure that they've gone through their federal process to confirm that that is accurate. But how many of us know that the FDA will approve things that are more detrimental than beneficial? And so it's great to get outside documented resource to really make the best decisions for our bodies. All right. And then I briefly discussed earlier, but I really wanted to provide this as a little bit of foundational knowledge this evening, the 2018 Farm Bill, because this is the bill that shifted the game, that gave us an opportunity to not only grow and have the industrial hemp to show that there is the benefit of CBD that exists in another species of cannabis, but it also provided an opportunity for us to begin to reintroduce this plant and destigmatize it to the overall community. And so I am very excited to share that for those of you who are wondering, like, do I need a license? Do I need to have any sort of special license to sell hemp-derived CBD products? You don't, because it's already federally legal, in the same way that you don't need a special license to sell rosemary if that was an herb that you decided to sell. You wouldn't need a license to sell the CBD. You may need a license to have a business in the state that you're in. You may have local regulations to follow, but as it relates to the actual hemp-derived CBD product, because it is already federally legal, this is the best way to enter the cannabis industry. Okay, Candace has a phenomenal testimonial. She said, I love WH Farms products. Thank you. I tried the pre-roll for the first time and was amazed. I love it because we really put a lot of pride, not only in our cultivation practices, but our manufacturing practices, because we know that so many of our customers are new to cannabis and CBD, and we want you to have an amazing experience. So that makes me really happy. And so with that said, in summary, how many of you can see that this industry is booming? Would you agree that the CBD industry is exploding? Not only is it booming and it's taking off at the speed of lightning, we are noticing that governmental agencies and both internationally and domestically, different companies and cultures are opening up and loosening their restrictions. I think just last week, Thailand legalized cannabis in his country. And so we're finding that there's just advancement that's happening worldwide. And we also love that in this country, we can be confident in introducing ourselves to the cannabis industry by going in the hemp-derived CBD space, because it really does remove it from the scheduled drug and gives you an opportunity to plant your flag in this space. So really exciting to see all of what's happening in this industry. So let's take a little visual trip, right? I love vision casting. I think that you have to see in order to receive. And I also think that you have to see in order to believe. So imagine if you decided that, you know what, I'm going to start a side hustle. 30% of America has a side hustle. 134 million people have side hustles in this country today. And you said, I'm going to start a side hustle, and my side hustle is going to be a CBD gummy brand. And I'm just going to really focus on my family and friends and people who are around me who want to purchase gummies. And you shared them with their family and friends, and they ordered it so much that you had to set up a monthly subscription service because you had people around you who did not want to run out of their CBD. Let me see in the chat how you would feel if that was your company with that success. How would you feel in the chat if that was your company? Some of you would be super excited. Some of you would say, I don't know. I need to make sure that I don't use all of my gummies, right? I tell people all the time, you have to make sure that you continue to circulate your products because you will find yourselves falling in love as well. Or imagine that you created a CBD topical oil that helped women relax, niche market, niche brand, and you gifted them to a bride and her bridesmaids, and your oil was all the rage that it actually procured national press from a wedding magazine. Can you imagine something like that happening in your first year of business in the CBD industry? I see Candace, I want a need-based product, recession-proof. Absolutely. Oh, I would love to share that information, Candace. Thank you for asking. Absolutely. So I love that this testimonial is actually the testimonial of one of our customers. So obviously our next recommendation is you need to launch a CBD brand. Janice, Candace, need-based. The opportunity is very present. The demand continues to grow, and you already have personal stories that will validate your excitement about what this company or what your brand can do. So let me tell you about Relax Mom Co. I'm always so proud to share. We have a number of brands that I could share about, but these are the ones that I just love seeing their success. Sabrina Crowder of Relax Mom Co. is a federal government employee, also in the DMV, who actually during the pandemic was that mom who found herself uber stressed because she had her work requirements and 3 school-age kids that were home, as well as a son who was supposed to start college in New York that year, whose college plans had to completely be turned around. And she depended on CBD for her sanity. When WH Farms launched, Sabrina actually was one of the first to purchase the CBDpreneur Business Launch Kit. And in doing so, she literally started to create edibles so that she could build up more startup capital to really launch her product line. And she's the client who made close to $3,000 in her first 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, of working and making brownies and cake pops to sell to her family, friends, and neighbors. What I also love about Sabrina's story is Sabrina went on to create a number of products. She has a CBD infused shea butter. She does cake pops as an edible. She also has an after shower oil that she's created that's custom to her actual product line, because she started to really niche down and see, what do moms desire to relax? So it's Sabrina's success of going to the bridal party and providing the bride and the bridesmaids with her actual oil that they loved and raved about. And she was able to receive national publicity in a wedding magazine as a result of that. And as you can see from her testimonial, she had no idea that she would be in this industry 2 or 3 years ago. But to see how she's been able to succeed with no experience in this industry and as a new cannabis advocate is absolutely amazing. TaylorMade CBD also started an edible line. And what I absolutely love about his testimony, and this is a company that was started by a husband and wife team. While his wife was pregnant, he wanted extra income and an opportunity for them to do something together. And he said that he didn't even realize how much pain his friends were in. He didn't realize until he started to share with them his excitement about CBD that many of them had challenges with sleeping. Many of them had challenges with concentration and focus. And so he was able to provide a need-based product to them and continue to create recurring orders and opportunity so that he and his wife were able to create a side business that they've used as they've expanded their family. And so I'm always very excited to share his legacy. And then we have AB Tonics. We're actually going to do an interview with her soon because she has so many great things happening. But April's story is profound. April is a resident of California, and she decided to launch her CBD product line with WH Farms because she has a son that's incarcerated. And she wanted to make sure that when her son was released from prison, that she would have something for him to do that would be both legal and an opportunity for him to be able to transfer what skills and talents that he had into something that was legitimate and lucrative. And so in his absence, she started the brand, she started creating products, she started vending at pop-ups, guys, community pop-up events, flea markets, farmers markets, and her products caught the eye of famous Ava DuVernay. And now Ava DuVernay is one of her recurring clients, and her son is close to release, and she's helping him to understand how the wellness and therapeutic benefits of the CBD is in place so that he's able to really pick up the torch and run with the product line that she's created for them to work on together. So I just wanted to share those testimonials because all 3 of the scenarios are very different as to why those individuals started adding CBD to their investment strategy and really planting their flag in this industry. But just think about how the demand is so great, but the opportunity is so vast that people are picking up national exposure, selling products to celebrities because there are not a lot of CBD product lines where people are able to connect with the owners and connect with the owner stories. And so that's the reason why we are so excited about that. And so how do you launch a CBD brand with WH Farms for those of you who may be interested? We actually have a phenomenal product, a white labeling service that we offer individuals who are interested in launching their product line. And so our white labeling products, I'm just going to go quickly to a different site so that you can see it. And guys, while I'm doing that, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. And while I'm also doing that, I'm going to, Candace, answer your question about Delta 8 and Delta 10. So we actually, as a company, we don't offer Delta 8 and Delta 10 products because we believe in efficacy and also legitimacy of process. They are not, although they are, it is a chemically altered product that is made in a lab to be similar to THC. So let me explain what happens with Delta 8. So Delta 8 is derived from hemp, but what happens is when the hemp extract is processed, there are additional additives that are processed to exaggerate the Delta 8 cannabinoid so that it is most similar to Delta 9, which is the THC that we're commonly known or aware of that's available in the cannabis space. And so I say all of that to say that Delta 8 and Delta 10, no, they are not natural. They are synthetic. And in the event, and although states are deciding to move forward with Delta 8 in some instances, they are still very controversial nationwide. And so we're not able to, we are with an abundance of caution, we enjoy making sure that we present opportunities to our clients that are internationally acceptable. And so that's our posture on Delta 8 and Delta 10. We also are really big advocates of Delta 9, which is the natural occurring THC cannabinoid. We're really big advocates of Delta 9 legalization nationwide. And some of the responses from Delta 8 and Delta 10 have been slightly exaggerated for most people. And so we find that we really want society to get used to what the cannabis plant can actually do naturally as opposed to non-naturally. How many of you have tried Delta 8 and Delta 10 products? I'm not personally, I think that all products are amazing. I have found some Delta 8 gummies and edibles to be a little bit more exaggerated, which again can be a bit concerning. So none of our products are synthetic, correct? All of our products are naturally occurring. We don't have any synthetic products. As a matter of fact, and as I bring up the website, I'll show you this, all of our products are either chemical free or vegan. So we're just going to go to the white labeling page on the site to kind of go through the products that we have. So yes, we actually cultivate our cannabis. We follow USDA organic cultivation practices. So that means that we ensure that our cannabis production and our cannabis cultivation follows organic cultivation practices. And then of course we extract, and after we extract, we manufacture into products. And when doing so, we use the best in ingredients. Our products are chemical free, and all of the cannabinoids that we promote are naturally occurring. So we don't do, in our extraction process, we don't do any sort of additives or expansion of things from a non-natural or more synthetic perspective. We try to keep everything very natural so that individuals can get used to what the actual cannabis plant can do. So we have a number of CBD white label products. We have a bath scrub, a pain balm. We have both a hair and beard oil and a massage oil that's not listed on the site, but we do offer it. We have bath bombs, body butters, tinctures, gummies, and we also wholesale our flour, our pre-rolls, as well as our loose flour. And what we offer as a company, as a white labeling company, is an opportunity for you to literally take one of our products that we've already designed and customized the formulation for. Our products, as you can notice, as you slide across the tiles, they actually come in varying fragrances and flavors. And so we're able to take these very products and provide you with an opportunity to slap your label, place them on your website, sell them under your brand name, and make all of your own profits. Most of our products, if not all of our products, have a minimum of a 100% return on investment. So that means that if you can sell, for example, you can sell a pre-roll for between $10 to $12. We wholesale our pre-rolls for $4 to our clients. You can see the return, the ROI. Our tinctures, for example, they retail between $75 and $125, depending on the brand quality. And we actually wholesale or white label to our customers for $34.97 a bottle. So you can see the spread and the profit margin. And the beautiful thing that I love about our white label packaging, and I don't have an example in front of me, but I do actually, but with the white labeling, for example, this is the tincture, this is my personal stash. It comes with all of the plastic packaging that's needed, so that the only thing that you'll have to add is your actual label. And we also, with all of our white labeling products, we provide a COA, or certificate of analysis, so you're able to pass that on to your clients. So how many of you are interested in getting started and learning how you can build your own CBD product line and your own CBD brand? Someone asked if we white label the exotic pre-rolls. Yes, we do. And so those exotic pre-rolls are available. They're priced differently than a normal pre-rolls, but again, still a 100% ROI. And a minimum order quantity of 30. So what we did with that minimum order quantity is it gave individuals a chance to start their product line with a group of products. So instead of just starting with one product, a pre-roll or a gummy, you're able to start with multiple products and still have the affordability. And guys, also what I love about this opportunity and that we've created is that normally to enter into the cannabis industry, states require investments of millions of dollars, so that they actually are able to really be compensated for allowing people into this space. WH Farms is able to cultivate, manufacture, and produce ready-made products for you, seed to shelf. We even provide branding and marketing support if you're interested in the development of your website, your labels, your logos. So we're able to provide a turnkey solution. And most of our clients on average spend an average of $5,000 to get their product line started. And as you can see, in their first month, they can probably make triple that in the event that they're able to aggressively identify opportunities, but the return on investment is huge. And so I love that, because in our community, we're finding less and less that opportunities are available or accessible to us. And so WH Farms, one of our missions is to really create accessibility in this industry by offering these not only ready-made products, but strategy, consultation, and education so that you're able to be successful. Can you wholesale flower to use using tea? Absolutely. So you can actually use either the flower or extract in tea. And we have a client that's created a loose tea line, and you can take, just different bags that you can purchase and create your own tea blends that include CBD. And it has such an amazing benefit when the tea is added to the hot water that decarbs the cannabis. And so it releases all of those great cannabinoids so that the body can benefit. Interested, will you start creating edibles in the future to white label? Yes, so we have our gummies. So the gummies, as I mentioned earlier, is the fastest growing product in the edible industry. We also have our tincture, which is an ingestible. In terms of cake pops, we likely will not create cake pops. That's not really our sphere of influence. But with our CBDpreneur business launch kit, we oftentimes share with people ways that they can create those types of products for themselves, or you can use the tincture to also infuse in your edibles for the creation of like cake pops, brownies. We're not a bakery. Our manufacturer is really more of a body care and wellness manufacturer. So at this space, we really are focusing more on the wellness side, and we don't provide those edible creations, but we do provide the ingredients for you to do so. All right. So next steps, how do you guys leave this webinar, and what action should you take to make sure that this information just doesn't fall on deaf ears? Because opportunity is only opportunity when it's taken advantage of, right? And so the first thing that you should do is to book a call. Book a call using this on our website, on the white labeling page on our website, and speak with our white labeling team. We have a group of individuals who are well-versed about our products and services. I even jump on the calls from time to time to make sure that I'm able to answer questions and provide strategy so that you can really, really understand how you can plant your flag in this space. And once that white label calls takes place, you'll receive within one business day an overview of the discussion of the call, an estimate with the products that you're interested in. And it gives you the ability and empowers you to take action. And once action is taken, just so that you know our process, WH Farms as a manufacturer wants to set you up to win. So all of your products are made to purchase. And the reason why we make products to purchase is so that you can have the maximum freshness for your product line. So that means that when you order the gummies and those gummies are received, you're going to have the full 12 to 14 month shelf life for you and your customers. And that gives you the opportunity to not worry about your material or products being wasted or spoiled, or a need to reorder immediately because of expiration. Now, you're going to reorder immediately because people are going to love your products and you're going to need to continue to give them to your customers. But I definitely wanted to make sure that you knew that our products are made to order. So typically it takes about 3 to 4 weeks to receive your order from the date that payment is made, so that we can provide you with the maximum freshness to you and your clients. Are there any questions that I can answer? I know I've gone over a lot. Any questions? before we wrap? Well, I am extremely excited to see the success that you ladies will have in this space. And I'm even more excited that you have decided to not only take your personal experience with CBD and enjoy it for your own benefit, but you are partnering with WH Farms to spread the magic of CBD, because that is our mission and our goal. And although your product line is yours, we are just your vendor and your manufacturer. We are aligned in purpose because we want people to know that there are alternatives that can help them feel better without providing the toxic side effects. I've been on calls all day with clients who've been sharing things about I have had one client that called that said that her sister received a prescription and the prescription has caused her to hallucinate. And now she has the onset of early dementia and she's looking for something to help offset what the doctors have prescribed. And that's so much of a widespread issue in our community today. We have elderly who are finding themselves addicted to prescription medication. And I find that it's so important that we educate our community and the individuals around us that there are plant-based alternatives. And so I see we have another question. Is business funding and credit the same the CBD industry? It is not. That is definitely another webinar and another longer conversation. But what I will say is, and this is the reason why the CBDpreneur Academy that we have is so powerful, banks and merchant processors are not completely aware or well-versed on how to navigate in this space. And because cannabis and marijuana is not federally legal, and the FDIC, obviously is a federal agency, there are limitations as it relates to business funding and credit in the CBD space. But that doesn't mean that there's an extinction of opportunity. There are banks that are CBD compliant. Chase is one, Truist is another. And so as long as you're able to get your actual entity in with the bank, and this is a free nugget tonight, guys, but when you're launching your CBD brand, we always advise, and we're not attorneys, we just are business. We are a business that's done it, and we know what works to help you be successful. But that you remove CBD, cannabis, or any comment about that in your legal business name, so that you can have a wider availability of bank opportunities. And then you will have, of course, the access to business funding and credit. If you have an entity that's already showing traction and revenue, then it's definitely something that you probably lean heavily on that business funding or that entity's ability to acquire business funding. Or if you were to create a legal entity and remove the name, if you will, then that also can open you up to opportunities. But there is a need to be specific in how and detailed in how you present your company to businesses and banks so that you're able to have that success. That's a great question. But I think you know that WH Farms just received a state grant from one of the most conservative states in the Bible Belt. And so that just goes to show that investors have their eyes open about what's happening in this industry. And so don't be surprised that if in less than 12 months, we see a completely different shift where there will be an interest in CBD. That's a great question. All right, guys. So thank you so much. So if there are no additional questions, I look forward to seeing you guys on our white labeling call schedule. I look forward to having our team answer any questions that you may have. And most importantly, I am very excited to help all of you really launch in this space and create success and opportunity, not just for yourselves, but for the people that will be served by your products. Thank you so much for attending tonight's webinar. Have a great evening.